Alright folks, John Rush here today, my son Richard Rush behind the camera. This is a review of the all-new for 2017 Infiniti Q60. This is the S version, but the Infiniti Q60. So I'll get right into it. This vehicle as it sits that we test drove, right around $63,000. All new engine for Infiniti in this car. It's a 3-liter twin turbo. They call it the VR30 DDT engine. I'll say that again. VR30 DDT engine. 400 horsepower. This is the all-wheel drive version of this car, which you can get in just a rear-wheel drive version. And the rear-wheel drive version will have a little bit of a different look to it than the all-wheel drive as far as the tire, the stance, and so on. But this was the all-wheel drive version, which honestly, driving this car, we'll get into more of that as we get into the review. The first day I drove the car, I kind of thought, okay, great car. The more I drove this car, the more I fell in love with this car. As simple as that. I really don't know how else to say it. The more I drove this car, the more I fell in love with it. So I tell you what, let's take a quick break real quick. We'll do a complete walk around the vehicle, and we'll get into the 2017 Infiniti Q60. All right, we'll take a walk around now. 2017 Infiniti Q60. Let me get my shadows out of the way. Richard can show you the front, and behind the big emblem is, of course, the radar for the front collision, adaptive cruise, all of that. It's got a round view camera system on it as well. Parking system, or parking assist I should say. This car does come with a sunroof. Nice, really solid, aggressive lines to this car. I had comments, and I guess I could just say this. I had comments on this car after driving it for a little bit where people wanted to know, what is this car? It doesn't look like the typical rounded Infiniti with the sculpted lines coming down the side. It just has a different look where people were wondering, what is this car? Is it a Jaguar? Is it, is it what? What is this car? And once I explained it to them, they were like, wow, we didn't think Infiniti built anything like this. And the reality is, they do. This car at 400 horsepower, flat hauls the bacon. It handles well. I'll talk about some of that as we're driving it, but it's got a directive adaptive steering along with a digital dynamic suspension. Actually, they call it dynamic digital suspension, which really means, in layman's terms, it is computer-wise monitoring everything that's going on in the vehicle, making adjustments accordingly, and also on top of that, according to what settings you're actually in. Eco, normal, sport, sport plus, or you can customize it to you personally. So it's a personalized setting. So in essence, it's really taking all of those inputs and changing the way the suspension works, the way the steering works, how fast the steering is. For example, in Sport Plus, the steering is 12% faster than it is normally. So all of those things are being done electronically through the PCM, through all the readings that it's taking. And you know what, since I'm back here, we'll just get right into the back and show you the trunk, which, as you notice, there's a little button right in the light, which is kind of a cool thing to open up the trunk. I can also do that with the key fob. It does not pop up automatically, but when you look inside of here, pretty ample trunk space for a sport coupe, for a, basically for a sports car. Pretty decent ample room here in the back, so no complaints along those lines. I really, plenty of room back here to put things in. Richard showing you little cubby holes back here where you can put, your med kit and things along those lines. So, plenty of room. Not that you're going to take a big long trip in this car, but if you needed to, you could. And the seats do actually fold down. You see a little tether right here. You actually fold the seat down for the passengers. I tell you what, I'm not on this car going to hop into the back seat because it's not a huge back seat anyways. This again is one of those cars where I'm guessing it's got a back seat to avoid some of the insurance and some of the regulation side of the fence, but you're not going to put really big people in the back seat of this car anyway. So I'll tell you what, I'll jump in the front seat, open up the passenger side, and let you guys take a look inside the 2017 Infiniti Q60. All right, we're back again, 2017 Infiniti Q60, and this is the, Richard, make sure I say this right, the
Q60 Red Sport 400 all-wheel drive.
There we go. That's a mouthful. Basically, Q60. Just say it that way. Okay, getting in the back seat, and they've got a nice little tether thing here to keep the seat belt so it's easy to grab. If you want to move it forward, you flip this up. The cool thing about this, again, being a coupe, which is kind of cool, hit the button and it automatically will move forward. So, I said I wasn't going to get in the back seat, but now that I'm here, you know what? I might as well. Not that big of a deal to climb back. And if you wanted to, you could get a full-size person back in here. And if I do that and hit that back, it'll actually automatically come back. So as a passenger here in the back seat, you could actually move the seat forward and back. And honestly, surprisingly enough, my knees aren't even touching the seat at this point. I'm 5'8", I'm 5'10". The seat's sitting here probably for somebody that could be in the 6-foot range. There's plenty of room for both passengers here. I've got a little console back here. cup holders. You know, it's not actually all that bad. My biggest complaint back here would be the way the roof slopes back. I'm getting pretty close. If I was any taller or had a hat or anything on, I'm going to be hitting the roof here with my head. But if you're a shorter person, you could slouch down a little bit, not a big deal. And again, getting out, Richard can show that again real quick. So looking back up here, my head is pretty close, you know, and if I set up straight, as you can see, my head's going to hit the top. So just something to note. Not that you're going to have a lot of passengers in the back anyways. To get out as a passenger, again, I can just flip that up, hit the button forward, or hit the button, seat's going to come forward, and I can climb out. So surprisingly, it actually has a little more room back here than probably what you're going to find, say, in a, you know, a Camaro or something along those lines. You know, as a Corvette owner myself, and I'll talk about this as we get into the driving portion, you know, what do I think of this car as far as the driving and the capability and the horsepower and all of that? I tell you what, functionality-wise for this car, it's comfortable, it's quiet, it's fast, and it has a spot to put 2 more people behind the seat, which, of course, my Corvette does not have. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to climb in the driver's seat. We'll show you a little bit more of the front interior room on the 2017 Infiniti Q60 Red S. All right, folks, now in the front seat, again, the driver's seat, I should say, of the 2017 Infiniti Q60 Red S. And the door just shut, and frankly, as it does, I can just see how much quieter it is inside. Open the sunroof up to allow a little more light in. Plenty, you know what, cockpit-wise, Infiniti, fantastic job as far as how you've designed the cockpit. Everything is within reach, very easy to set everything up. Audio, the nav system, dual climate control, heated ventilated seats, or I should say heated seats, not ventilated, but heated seats. All of your controls for your dynamic driving are all right here. You can control some of your radio and such right through the knob in the middle here. Paddle shifters, of course, up here, and then everything else pretty much standard Infiniti-wise is what's on the steering wheel, which is what you'd come to expect. And the car has got all of the features you can imagine as far as the safety features. Blind spot monitoring, collision avoidance, adaptive cruise, and the list goes on. Again, for a little above $60,000, you're really getting a lot of car for the money. And I sincerely mean that. 400 horsepower, all-wheel drive. I drove this car in a really bad ice storm we just had here in Colorado, where a lot of people stayed home for the day because they just didn't feel that they could get out in it. And I'll be honest, this car, all-wheel drive, didn't miss a lick on my way to work that day. No problems whatsoever. So full bore ice storm, this car in it, 400 horsepower, worked fantastic. Let's take a quick drive in the 2017 Infiniti Q60 Red S. All right, folks, before we get ready to take our drive, I want to show you the backup camera system and some of what's in the Infiniti Q60 Red S. And as Richard mentioned a moment ago, before, you know, in between our takes here, all new system for Infiniti here, and I will tell you, it works fantastic. And as I get in the driving portion, I'll talk about some of the other safety features that they've got. But this car, I'll just have to, I don't think I've even said this yet, comfortability-wise, as far as this car, even versus my Corvette, there's just no comparison. This car outshines that car, and they're roughly the same price. Actually, this car's a little bit less money than I paid for my Corvette, so just a side note. Go to reverse, camera comes on, around view to the right, dynamic grid lines. I can see exactly where I'm going. You know, very, very easy. It's a piece of cake as far as that goes. That's not why you're buying this car. You're buying this car for the performance, the luxury. This really is truly a luxury sports car for right around 60 grand. You can't beat it. We'll turn the camera off. We'll get out on the road and we'll come right back. All right, folks, we're now driving the Infiniti Q60 Red S, and you felt me just get on it there for a second as we were pulling out, and this car just, it's a driver's car. I don't know how else to say it. It handles well, it drives well, it's quiet on the interior, it's got all the creature comforts you can imagine, nav system, audio system, all of that works out fantastic, dual climate control. One thing I didn't mention earlier that it also does have, I wanted to make sure that I did mention, is it's got a new an app, basically an app that you can get from Infiniti for this car that gives you the ability to do remote start, a car locator, and stolen vehicle location through the app. So kind of a cool feature that it's got built into the Infiniti app for this particular car. You know, I'll get Richard's opinion on this in just one second, but again, as somebody that owns a Corvette, has a sports car, and actually have a few muscle cars as well, you know what, the refinements in this car, the price tag that it is, all of the you know, the whole package, if you look at it in a full rounded package, you know what, Infiniti, you really surprised me. I was not I really wasn't anticipating enjoying driving this car as much as I did, and after having it for 5-6 days now, I'm going to really be disappointed to give this car back. Richard, what are your thoughts?
I would absolutely agree. I think it was funny. I did a little bit more research on the front side of this car. I was kind of excited to drive it, mentioned it to you, and I recall the conversation you and I had, which was, yeah, it was okay to drive down here, and then as you get more used to this car, you just fall that much more in love with it every single time. The comfortability factor of it. I used to have a Camaro, which obviously is about half the price of one of these, but in terms of the ride quality, the quietness of the ride, the functionality, the driving enhancement security features of it. Plus, I'll be honest, you get a 400 horsepower twin turbo, I believe, that's going to really get up and go as we are right now, and it's just a blast to drive.
Yep, and there you have it. I mean, honestly, this car it just hauls. This car will really compete with a lot of the muscle cars that are out there, yet handles well. As you can see, beautiful Colorado day we've got today. This would be the kind of car where if you wanted to head up the pass, head up the mountains, if you ran into any rough weather, you've got all-wheel drive and the ability to really go wherever you want to go. Of course, on-road. I'm not going to say you're going to go off-road with this car, which you wouldn't, but any on-road capabilities. You know what? This car is absolutely fantastic, fabulous. I would go take this car anytime, any day of the week. It's soon going to become one of our favorite cars. So go test drive this vehicle if you're in the market for a luxury sports car. This is a vehicle that you cannot pass up. You really need to get out, drive this car, test it, see how you like it, and when you go to the Infiniti dealer, please tell them you heard them on Drive Radio.